Welcome into Flame Central, your home for all things Liberty athletics. He's America's favorite Canadian, Rhett McGibbon. I'm Matt Warner.
Yeah, we'll get to some big baseball games and hear about the Liberty quarterback battle in just a moment. But when a conference title is claimed, Matt, that's where we have to begin.
Absolutely. Liberty women's tennis entered the CUSA championship as the 6th seed, but boy, they sure didn't play like it. After a gutsy comeback in the semifinal to defeat FIU, Liberty took care of business in the title match, defeating Delaware 4-0 to claim the first conference championship in the program's 26-year history. It took just 2 seasons with Dash Cannell leading the program to get a CUSA title and earn a spot in the NCAA tournament. Liberty now awaits the selection show on Monday to determine who and where they'll play next. But for now, the Lady Flames celebrate a history-making win.
Holding up that trophy, I was like, this is not real. Like, this is like literally our dream. That was like, I cannot believe I'm living our dream. It was just like pure happiness. Like, it was relieved. It was like, I was so proud. We did it, like that feeling of like, wow, it's ours, you know?
We thought there were 5 or 6 teams that all had a shot. It felt like a very deep tournament, but there wasn't one team that was just better than everybody else. And so we didn't love our seed. We were a 6th seed. It's pretty low. It's not the ideal spot to be in. But we felt like once we get past that first round, we can beat any team. We just have to do it. And so we did it.
Well, best of luck to the Lady Flames in the NCAA tournament. We turn now to baseball. After taking 2 of 3 from Dallas Baptist over the weekend, the Flames were still ranked 25th in this week's Baseball America poll, and they had a great chance to continue building their resume with back-to-back ACC opponents in the midweek. It began on Tuesday night as Liberty hosted Duke, the Flames going for the season sweep of the Blue Devils, but it didn't look promising early. A 2-run home run from Bobby Marsh in the second inning was part of a 3-run frame, and then they would explode for 5 more in the third, Duke jumping out to an 8-2 lead. But these Flames have a knack for the comeback. It was a 9-6 game entering in the 8th. Nick Barone, a solo home run, his 4th against Duke this season, made it 9-7, and that would open the floodgates for the Flames offense. 12 batters came to the plate, delivering 6 hits and 7 runs in the 8th inning. This went from the Flames being down 3 entering the inning to being up 4 when it ended. Duke would score once more in the 9th, but it wouldn't matter. The Flames win it in comeback fashion 13-10 and sweep the season series from the Blue Devils.
Then one night later, Liberty would travel to number 10 Virginia. This time it was the Flames getting an early lead. Nick Barone with his team leading 40th RBI to make it a 1-0 game in the 4th. Same score later in the inning. This time it was Liberty taking advantage of a UVA miscue. The throwing error by Noah Murray allows Barone and Swafford to score, and it's 3-0. Jump to the 5th, it was now a 4-1 game, and it was Liberty's turn to give away a run. A throwing error by Jake Potts allows RJ Holmes to score from second. It would be just a 1-run lead for Liberty in the 6th, and that's when it all changed with one swing. Noah Murray redeems himself for that earlier error, a 2-run single to put UVA on top 5-4, and that's where things would stay. The Flames unable to mount a late inning comeback for a second straight night. Liberty falls 5-4. They'll now host Delaware for a 3-game series this weekend.
In any sport, the locker room is a special place. It's where you spend countless hours with teammates, hanging out and making lifelong memories. But for Liberty baseball player Anderson Folk, he found more than good times with teammates in the locker room. It's also where he found the gospel.
Like many young baseball players, Anderson Folk had a big dream.
I wanted to go Division I.
And after some time in junior college, he would get the chance to live out that dream.
The Lord blessed me in a sense to go to VCU. My brother was over there. That's where Bradley LaCroix was, the head coach here. And he gave me an opportunity to play there.
But just because he had reached his goal didn't mean it was smooth sailing, on or off the field.
I had a terrible fall. I was getting myself involved in things that I really shouldn't have. Parties would be good. The girls would be everywhere. I was in the dumps, drinking too much, and I don't even think I hit my body weight. If you play baseball, you know what that means, but I was probably hitting 130, 150, something along those lines. And I've never done that in my life. And that took a huge toll on my mental health. Every night I was really anxious about my performance and, maybe I'll get cut.
One night during this time, a restless Andy decided to hit the batting cages, a routine decision that would have a life-altering impact.
When I was done, I walked into the locker room. And when I walked into the locker room, there was a bunch of guys in there doing a Bible study. And I was like, oh man, I'm just here to change. I got to get out of here, this whatever. And I walked into the Bible study and I just stayed out of respect for, the guys in there and the Lord, I guess. I don't know what made me stay in there. And I feel like I heard hope for the first time in that locker room. I heard the true gospel for the first time. And my mental state was at ease during that moment. And I never left that Bible study again. I think it was grace from God that allowed me to stay. That was a huge turning point in my life, being free off the field and also on the field. I started to really dive into the Word and read it for myself. I remember I read Romans for the first time, and that really just changed my mind and my perspective on everything.
Although Andy had been changed by the gospel, he was still in search of spiritual mentorship. Transferring to Liberty prior to the 2025 season would provide just the environment this young believer was looking for.
I didn't really have anyone that was showing me completely how to live for Christ, but it wasn't until Liberty that I made a huge step. I still feel like I've grown so much in the year and a half that I've been here. I knew that Liberty was a Christian university, but I didn't know to the extent of what it was. I didn't know much about it. Young kids living for Christ, I've never seen that. I came here and man, I just feel like my faith in God just amplified.
He was definitely in a season coming out of the party lifestyle and out of a lot of things that were ensnaring him. And it's been an honor walking with him here at Liberty. The man he's grown into is he went from little boy to a man, putting away the childish things.
There's no comparison. Anderson Folk puts a charge into this baseball. It's certainly his first hit as a Flame, and it's certainly his first home run with LU. Folk a year ago hit 4 with VCU. Welcome to Lynchburg.
And really, it's about equipping him, telling him he's a leader, and giving him opportunities to share his testimony. And every time I did that, he did. Every time we had a worship night with our team, a Bible study, even opportunity where we had a worship night out here, he did it, and he was obedient.
You would think the locker room is for baseball, but the Lord uses everything for his good. And, he used the locker room at VCU for my own good, and he's using it here at Liberty for other people's good as well. Can that kind of faith save him? I feel the Spirit moving through every single Bible study that we have.
Now, Andy is not only growing spiritually himself, but also sharing this life-changing message with others.
I remember I was talking to Dylan Dunkley, and he had the idea of going back to Guatemala with some of our teammates here at Liberty. And I was like, man, I would love to go. So Guatemala was a cool experience, sharing the gospel to others, but also I got baptized there. We got the message across, the language barrier, which is really cool what the Lord can do. And man, the smiles on those kids' faces were something I've never seen before. It's like they saw hope for the first time. It's like when I walked into the locker room and I saw hope. It was really cool to see. That was something that touched my heart really deeply, and I want to go back and do it again. The biggest thing about my story, it's not my story, it's his. So everything that I do, I just wanted to point back to Jesus and what he did on the cross, because that's where everything is being made. I don't want anyone to look up to me. I want them to look up to Christ. I just want to be a mirror for Christ.
Our thanks to Helmut Montoya for that piece. Well, this past Saturday, Flames fans got their first look at the 2026 Liberty football team at the Spring Showcase. It was a very, let's call it, loose event. No pads, no tackling, Not a lot to be gained in terms of what this team will look like on the field moving forward, but it was a fun time for fans to watch linemen try to catch punts, maybe score an autograph or two. The big news, though, would come after the showcase when head coach Jamie Chadwell announced that the quarterback competition will continue into the fall. Offensive coordinator Newland Isaac told us why that's the case on this week's Flames Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia. What do you still need to see that you did not see in spring?
From the quarterback position?
From the quarterback position.
Just taking full command of the offense with minimal mistakes. There's still times where we'll have drives together and guys, you get them, you rotate those guys each with one's reps, and you won't see somebody just kind of just take over, and nobody's kind of just took over like they needed to. So it's still that stuff that you want to see get cleaned up. Like, let's put together a clean drive with no mistakes and really move this offense up and down the field. So that's really what we're kind of trying to see, who can move the ball at the quarterback position with minimal mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we're still trying to find and identify.
If you'd like to hear our entire conversation with Newland Isaac, including an in-depth breakdown of a loaded running back room, check out the Flames Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts or watch on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel. A new episode drops every Monday. All right, time now for Warm, Hot, and Fuego, top player moment from the past week in Liberty Athletics.
Yes.
Rhett, we have a theme this week.
We do. National School Bus Drivers Appreciation Day.
Oh, thank you to all those driving school buses.
For sure.
Yeah, I had one pass me this morning. I was
Did you?
walking on the
Yeah.
road. He gave me a little honk, so that was good. He saw me. I'm always diving into the ditch to make sure he sees me. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving this guy's life. But hey, the three athletes I'm about to talk about driving the bus for their respective teams.
I like that. Let's start off with Warm.
All right, Warm, freshman on the softball team, playing the hot corner. Macy Strickland, CUSA Freshman of the Week this past weekend against FIU. Hit 385, had a double, a home run, 4 RBIs. This young lady, I think, you always talk about you want strength up the middle in a diamond sport, but sometimes I feel like it's softball because, the bases are in a little bit closer. Right. That hot corner is
gets on you quick.
It really does. So to have a freshman that's finding her way there, has settled in defensively from the beginning of the year, and is playing a much more comfortable position at third, I think that goes a long way for the future of Lady Flames softball, given, again, that she's just a freshman.
Yeah, Strickland and Lee, a couple of freshmen that could be really good moving forward. All right, from Warm we go to Hot.
All right, Ava Rahala on the lacrosse team.
Yeah.
This young lady, this is a veteran, a wily veteran. ASUN Offensive Player of the Week. Yes, the lacrosse team is still in the ASUN.
Yeah, I always kind of like, wait, what? Oh,
I'm like, did I say that wrong? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Versus Queens, 4 goals, 6 assists. She leads the team with 55 points. I think that was the second time in her career that she had a 10-point day. A great effort by her. And I want to say, the lacrosse team, after a bumpy start to ASUN conference play, has found their way. It's starting to really get it going here in women's lacrosse, and the ladies are a young team again that you always are curious. And we saw it with the women's basketball team just earlier in the fall. How they start is not going to be how they finish, and I think they found their rhythm. They're getting collected in that that heavy ride that they like to play and cause turnovers. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes tournament time. Anything can happen.
All right, finally, Rhett, your In Fuego athlete. Who's driving the bus this week?
Okay, I promised it last week. If you go back and watch last week's episode, you have to remember it's Nikki Barone, this young man against Duke a week ago. 3 home runs, and then you go to the contest just this past week, and you're like, oh, he's kind of having a quiet night. All of a sudden hits a solo shot, which really got the wheels turning for the Flames in that huge comeback effort that we mentioned earlier. So Nick Barone just swinging a hot stick, leading the team in home runs, and it's just fun to see the power game.
Yeah, I think it's now like 19 RBIs in his last 11. After that Duke game, he just continues to be a big run producer in the middle of this lineup, and has helped the Flames become one of the best teams, not just in Conference USA. It might be one of the best teams in the country as well. So it has been pretty fun. Rhett, great job. Appreciate it. Drive the bus, as always. All right, hey, from current Liberty stars to some future ones. Women's basketball, they've had a couple potentially huge transfers over the past week. First up, Sophia Gregory, a transfer from Youngstown State. 2 years ago, she was the Horizon League Freshman of the Year. This past season, she was the Defensive Player of the Year. 6'2" forward, led the conference in rebounding with over 8 a ball game. And then the Lady Flames get deeper at the guard spot, signing JUCO All-American Layla Scott. At Johnson County Community College, she led her team to a 69-2 record over the past 2 years, including a national title. She averaged over 16 a game in those 2 seasons, making a combined 233 three-pointers in the process. A really good Liberty team looks like they've gotten even better heading into this next season.
Our next story comes from the softball diamond. When redshirt freshman Felicity Fonseca found Liberty, she knew she found the perfect fit. Not only could she pursue playing softball at the Division I level, but just as important, she could pursue her passion for music ministry. And as you're about to see, God is using her in an incredible way.
One thing about Felicity, she is her own person.
That is the way we roll here. The team calls me Fonzie. My last name is Fonseca. If my teammates were to call me Felicity, I feel like it'd even feel like kind of weird. Oh no! Sorry, let me make sure it's tuned. I'm Felicity Fonseca, and I'm a softball player at Liberty University. I actually grew up playing baseball. I played tackle football. I played like every sport you could imagine. I think it was my freshman year of high school, that summer. I played a little bit of softball, very little, but that was actually when I came to a Liberty softball camp. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the facilities, the coaches, obviously the school. That night, I went back to our hotel room and I went to sleep. And I actually had a dream that I was in full Liberty uniform in the room we're in right now, actually leading worship for my team.
As a freshman in high school, leading worship was a big part of Felicity's life. Fonzie quickly picked up new instruments and would help out at her church whenever she could.
If they needed me to play drums, keys, sing, guitar, whatever they needed, I would do for them. And then eventually, as I got older, started leading in the main congregational. I think it definitely did influence me in terms of what I want to do with my life. I love leading worship. It's my favorite thing in the world, and getting to do that for the Lord is something I'm super passionate about, to the point where I decided I wanted to come to Liberty and pursue music and worship.
So Fonzie would officially commit to play for the Flames. She would then finish her high school career, improving as both a softball player and a musician. When she finally made the move to Lynchburg, one of the first people she met with was the team chaplain.
I meet with every single girl when they first come on the team. Felicity, she was definitely an answer to prayer. When we do chapel, we like to have worship. And every time when I have these girls come in, that's one of my questions. Hey, do you play an instrument? Do you feel comfortable singing and all of this? And she said, yeah, I lead worship at my church. I'm like, wow, would you lead worship for us in chapel? And she said, oh, definitely. She was like all about it.
Yeah, it's super special to me, getting to do really both things that I love. I feel the weight of that, of okay, this is what the Lord is calling me in this season. And it's just super special getting to lead my team into the presence of the Lord. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Therefore, brothers and sisters, in view of the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. Yeah, there was one night before a game that we had that I knew I was going to lead for a chapel, and I just kind of felt led to kind of share my story of the dream that I had. I said to them, we're standing in a place that used to be a promise, and we're living in the days that used to be a prayer. And for us as little girls, being in the situation that we're in, getting to play college softball at this level was literally our dreams, and something that most, if not all of us, prayed for as little kids. And now we're actually getting to do it.
It's a number of years I really prayed for that, because I know how impactful it is to have someone from within your peer group stand up and lead you into worship. And I don't mean just there strumming the guitar and singing. It's like the Spirit of God is really there and in full force. She draws you into worship. It's something miraculous.
Liberty for me gave me the best of both worlds in terms of I was playing softball at a high level, but then I also got to pursue the music side that I love too. I don't know for sure what the Lord has, but I'm confident and I have faith that I'm walking in line with what the Lord has for me. Lord, I thank you for your Son. Remind us we don't find our identities in this sport, God, but we find it in you. Lord, we love you, and it's all in your holy, precious name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thanks to our Josh Quigg for producing that story.
Yeah, we are about out of time, but before we go, we wanted to recognize a former Flame on a great accomplishment. On Monday, former Liberty track and field national champion Sam Chalenga won first place in the Boston Marathon for the men's Masters division. That means he was the fastest person age 40 or over. His time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, 59 seconds. Also the 43rd fastest overall time at the event. Congrats to Sam on yet another accolade in what has already been a very, very decorated running career. Hey, want to remind you, every Monday, the Flame Central podcast, be sure to check it out.
Yeah, if you missed any stories in the past, libertyflamecentral.com is your place.
Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Rhett, I'm Matt. We'll plan on seeing you right back here next time.